Steve Watterson.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be down here. Dan invited me on a great spring day, but let me let you know that during the fall, Dan and I really don't try to plan to be at the same venue at the same time with each other.
Unless it's the final.
Choices and challenges. It's a simple choice. Is it a simple choice to choose between the 3-month high school club and camps to play, or play your 10 months academy and camps? The choice may be simple for some, however, most players and families would be more affected by the challenges of the choice. The overall challenge to choose what to play, where to play, and why can be an annual choice for many players. They may find themselves drifting from one choice of academy versus high school participation year in and year out. My question is, what happened to those players attempting to return to high school or to the academy during their teen years? The aspects of social, community, economic, and the quality of coaching are areas the player and the parent should visit before making the decision. The high school experience as a student athlete has many positives. The social life and creating lifelong friendships, as we've heard from the panelists up here. Community and school involvement to represent with pride and connectivity with your local towns. Camaraderie with classmates and teammates, the culture of the high school life experience. Players get extensive playtime. They become role models as seniors and leaders in their high school, within their team structures. They have limited travel, and this ensures more academic time. I think the player and parent need to evaluate the abilities, potential, and the goals of the player's soccer range with the academics involved. When I was growing up, I saw myself playing baseball at the major league level. I had opportunities, but realized my playing limitations compared to the hundreds of thousands of other players, and went on to college to play baseball, soccer, and to graduate. The big picture U.S. soccer is that U.S. soccer's main objective is to have a national teams compete at a high international level and position the U.S. to compete to win a World Cup. I read the U.S. soccer module for player development, and I agree with over 90% of the philosophy and training that's described in it. I believe the U.S. is positioning itself to truly compete for a World Cup final in 15 to 20 years. However, I'm just not certain when that time period begins. Approximately 75% of the modular on player development is concerned with the under 14 age groups. So why dictate a choice for the high school age players? It's highly recognized by U.S. soccer and international clubs that the development of soccer skills are better comprehended and easier to do with 14 and under players. After 13 and 14 years of age, too many bad habits exist that are extremely difficult to divorce the player from. Also, that it's more difficult to introduce high-level skills after 14 years of age. In saying that, I would rather see U.S. soccer introduce soccer technical skills at earlier ages in the U.S. Much of the development of any athlete is the abilities, passion, and dedication they have within the sport to improve. However, the dedication, passion, and abilities of your coach or coaches during development training is invaluable. Basically, learn a skill set young as a soccer player, or you will always be playing catch-up with the best players. Where I have seen less, in high school, I have seen a lot less Division I college scholarship coaches looking at high school games. They do go to the academy and club showcases. However, there's been an incredible increase of Division II and especially Division III coaches within the Northeast at high school soccer events. Those coaches will be recruiting different players for the most part. But overall, the challenge of the choice will affect players, parents, and the high school academy teams case by case, region by region, and team by team. I truly believe that there's going to be a heavy-handed 3 to 5 year adjustment period that the academies have to, and the high schools have to go through, as well as the decisions each individual player makes. Again, thanks for having me down here. I look forward to the evening.
Thank you, Steve. And finally, we have Dan Woke. Dan is the third head coach in Staples High School's 54-year soccer history. In his 9 years at the helm, the Wreckers have won 4 FCAC titles, one state title, including 2 runner-up finishes. I think one to Steve one year on a great free kick, if I recall. It still kind of hurts, doesn't it, Danny? This year, Dan was named Connecticut High School Boys Soccer Coach of the Year, which follows him being named the National Youth Coach of the Year in 1991. He's a co-founder of the Westport Soccer Association, where 3 of his WSA teams reached the Region 1 final game. Dan's a graduate of Brown University and an inductee into the Connecticut Soccer Hall of Fame. Coach.
Thank you, Mark. No matter what happens with the Academy, Connecticut High School Soccer will survive. We'll still have fun in the fall. We'll draw great crowds in fantastic weather. We'll keep our intense rivalries going. We'll have memorable matches. We'll have daily newspaper coverage. MSG varsity will be there as the days get colder and the state tournament dwindles from 32 teams to 1. Here at Staples, the Hill will be packed. In Norwalk, the fans will continue to fill the bleachers. In New Canaan, the crowds will still sing "When the Reds Go Marching In." Around the state, high school soccer will still be the talk of the school and the town. Connecticut high school soccer will survive. But I will feel bad for the 99% of Academy players who will never play on a national team or in MLS, but who, because they think spending their entire year with an Academy team is the only way they'll play on the best college soccer team, will forfeit the joy of playing for their school in front of their friends, teachers, and community. They'll give up the incredible friendships, bonds, and memories forged by training and playing every day after school for 2.5 months. The intangible parts of growing up and playing sports that last a lifetime. It's not something you really understand when you're in high school, but nearly everyone who has done it knows years later how strong those friendships are. They last long after college, and they may ultimately be the most important part of any teenager's sports experience. As we've said here, U.S. soccer culture is different from the rest of the world. Doesn't mean it's better or worse, it's just a fact, and we should acknowledge that. High school sports are important for countless developmental reasons, on and off the field. High school also plays a role in growing the game of soccer. High school creates role models, develops fans, and provides incredible excitement to entire communities. I am not anti-Academy soccer. The training is solid, the competition is strong. I am, however, anti the Academy's my way or the highway philosophy. I don't think 2.5 months of high school soccer will prevent the U.S. from winning the World Cup. I'm also pro-high school soccer, and for the vast majority of the 80 or so Connecticut players, I think they can reap great benefits and lifetime rewards from it. This is not rocket science. It's soccer. It's the greatest game in the world, and we should all enjoy it at whatever level we can. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. We're going to get some questions from the panel and hopefully start getting some discussion going here, and then we'll offer you a chance to ask your questions. I'm going to start with Steve because he's the best-looking guy in the panel. Sorry. And I want to pick his brain as an educator who has no skin in this game. He doesn't live here. He can offend anybody out there. It doesn't matter. Let's take a hypothetical kid in the audience who's faced with this choice. If you accept U.S. soccer's premise that his development as a soccer player would be best served by playing with an academy team in a 10th-month season, what as a young man still developing, mentally, physically, emotionally, what does he miss? What does he give up by not playing high school soccer, by going into the academy program, which might be better for him as a soccer player? But what is he missing from an education, from a development? We know kids develop at different levels. This is a time in their lives where things are really starting to happen in their lives. What are they missing? What are the trade-offs?
Actually, I think Dan